We are doing Canto 1, Chapter 2. Now, what we had done was verse 9. We are just going to recap the whole verse once again. All occupational engagements are certainly meant for ultimate liberation. They should never be performed for material gain. Furthermore, according to sages, one who is engaged in ultimate occupation service should never use material gain to cultivate sense gratification. See here, everything that you do in the material world, let us say you are going out to work or you are doing something so that you can earn a living. You are getting married, you are going to have children, you are building a house, you are eating, drinking, sleeping, whatever that you are doing in this world. All these options that I discussed, you are doing them because there is an ultimate need for it. What is the ultimate need? This is called occupational engagements. All these jobs which we do in the material world, they have to lead us to what is called as liberation. Liberation from this circle of birth and death. It's called rebirth. See, the Hindu philosophy states that there are going to be rebirths. You don't have a choice there. Rebirths can be understood by various means. If you are dying with some incomplete work, are you supposed to complete it or no? You owe some money to someone. That money has to be repaid back. It is known or not known. It's very clear. You see, the idea that you have to give that money to that person is there. Or let us say you have treated somebody very badly. And that person has been very quiet all along. There is always a repayment for that. So in some other life you will have to be born again and then that person has to repay you back. Suppose you are a torturous person. You know, there are lots of relationships which are called toxic relationships. There is one person in the relationship who is extremely toxic in nature. That person always spews venom, speaks bad language, is always abusing, saying something, doing something, and it is harming other people in the world. So this toxic relationship is going to have to be repaid back to you, whoever is the person who is perpetrator. That means if that toxic person is there, this person will have to undergo multiple births because they have been doing something nasty with another person. It is not one birth. One mistake can be responsible for 100 births. So are you sanctioning them to yourself? So if in this life of yours, there is an occupational engagement of doing something, whatever it can be. You can be a husband, you can be a wife, you can be a child, you can be a mother, you can be a sister, whoever it might be. If you are not true to the relationship, if you are doing job in a company or you are doing some business and that business by itself is dangerous, let us say you are cheating people, doesn't that tell you you have to give it back? Whatever that you have taken from people, that has to be given back and you are going to get cheated in the future life of yours. That is going to be there. Then why are you wasting your life fighting with people, telling lies, doing something or the other, argumentation and all these things and keeping on saying, I did this, I did this, I did this. Or saying to the world, you are doing this to me, you are doing this to me, you are doing this to me. See, there is always also on the other side. On one side is a perpetrator and the other person is a person who is sufferer. Agreed? On both the sides they are there. So both have to be reborn again and again. So that is why rebirths are there. So in this occupational engagement of yours, you have to ensure that you are getting liberated. Understood? Doing your job diligently, doing it to perfection, being your very good self, not a nasty human being. They should never be performed for material gains. This is an extremely important statement. Whatever you are doing, please do not do it for any material gain. Don't say, I am earning money, that is why I am doing this. Do you understand? You should never try to think in terms of material gain. I want to get a dowry from my wife's parents for a house, a car, a this, a that. Have you heard of this or no? I want to get married to this man because he is so rich. He's got money, he's got a house, he's got cars, and he stays abroad, and he's got some nice bungalows and stuff like that. That is why I want to get married. If your motivation is this, both that person and whoever is responsible for their engagement, getting married, those people are sure to go to hell and they will be reborn again. This has to be understood. So don't do anything for personal gain, whichever material gain you are thinking of, even if you are working for your Guruji. Okay, don't expect any material gain. That is different. We will come to it later on. Furthermore, according to the sages, one who is engaged in the ultimate occupational service should never use material gain to cultivate sense gratification. And don't try to have sense gratification. Oh, I am eating Tirupati Laddu because it is very nice, I love to eat. It is a prasad. I love to eat is not the criteria. When somebody asks me, how is my food? Are they asking for gains or losses? They are asking very clearly whether this is good or bad. It is a gain or a loss, correct or no? They are surely going to go to hell and they will be born again because you are still using material gains for cultivating sense gratification. What is sense gratification? Suppose you are feeding me something. Today you are feeding me laddu. You have made laddu and feeding me, okay? You are telling me, are you happy with the laddu that I gave to you? How does it taste? Is taste called sense gratification? Yes or no? Taste is called sense gratification. Suppose you are singing songs to Krishna. How is my song after you sing a song? You ask Krishna these words. Are you asking for sense gratification? Yes. This is going to be the cause of your misery. Don't ask. Just offer and keep quiet. Don't ask, how is this gift? How are these things? What is happening? There is no need. I hope you have understood. I have taken 10 minutes so that you understand this verse very carefully. Okay? So now today we will start our satsang. This is Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1, Chapter 2, verse 10. Life's desire should never be directed towards sense gratification. One should desire only a healthy life or self-preservation. Since a human being is meant for inquiry about the absolute truth, nothing else should be the goal of one's work. You see, when people work for money, when people work for gains, when they think that their families are going to get food and this and that, and I will take this money and then I am going to build a temple. If you say these words, oh, you are building temple. When I get the money, I will give it to God. Do you see how people are so mean? When I get a good salary, I will give 10% of the salary to Balaji over there. You are making a deal. Even if you are offering a tulsi leaf to Krishna, don't make a deal with him. Don't make a deal with him. This is called self-gratification or self. The only thing which you are allowed to do, I want to be alive so that I can be praying to you constantly. I always want to be a devotee of yours. Rajma gave a very grand story that day. If you remember the grand story that she gave. About Samadipak. You think Samadipak was interested in doing something for himself? No. The gods came and asked Deepak, what do you want? He said, I will go and ask my Guruji. Did he say these words? Or did he say, oh, give good health to my Guruji? Did he say that? No. That you don't have a choice. You may be the greatest devotee of Krishna, but you don't have a choice of asking God, God give me money so that I can give it to Krishna. That is not the way. You have to ask Krishna. I need your permission. Anytime when you open your mouth and ask for gratification of any kind, even if it is offering something to God. Do you know the story where Satyabhama, out of her arrogance, wanted to give all the gold jewelry and the gold and this and that? There was a Tulabharana. Tulabharana is where they put God in one place, in that scale, you know, and on the other side you put all the jewels and gold and this and that. You know that. So when that was done, she can keep on putting whatever she feels like. She can never fulfill it by putting everything of hers in that. Because she is still talking material worldly things. It has to come from the heart. So she goes, so there Krishna's wife was standing, Rukmini, you know what she says? She feels sorry for Satyabhama. Satyabhama is his second wife. She says, I'm so sorry to see you doing this. Do one thing. The only thing which Krishna is going to be happy with, put 2 leaves of tulsi in that side. And when she puts 2 leaves of tulsi, then Sri Krishna becomes lighter than the tulsi. What does it tell you? Nothing in this world should be equated to material gains. Life's desire should never, never, never be directed towards sense gratification. Please do not think that I want to travel here, I want to go here, I want to do this, I want to eat good food. Any kind of sense gratification that you are thinking of, even I want money so that I can give it to Balaji. Sorry, you are not allowed. I hope this goes in your brains. So don't say these words. God is only interested in seeing when you don't have anything. Do you remember the story of Draupadi? You see, there was a vessel. Okay. From the vessel she had fed everybody. And then Krishna arrives after the whole vessel is emptied. So he asks her, do you have anything to eat? Draupadi says, we have just finished eating. I don't think we have anything. Sri Krishna says, don't worry. Let me see in that vessel if there is anything. And he goes to the vessel and he finds 1 grain. 1 grain. And he puts it in his mouth and he is satiated. He is not asking for money. He is not asking for any material gains. The moment material gains come into the picture, you are going to go to hell. Life's desire should never be directed towards sense gratification. One should desire only healthy life. Why healthy life? So that you will be able to take the name of God. Okay? Then, or self-preservation. Why self-preservation? Because when you are preserved, you can keep on singing bhajans and kirtans of God. The only thing which will appeal to Krishna is when you sing his praises. And not say, oh, I sang these praises. Did you like it? Don't say these words. It is still called sense gratification. Do you understand this? Since the human being is meant for inquiry about the absolute truth, your job in this world is to know the self only. Do you understand this? Your job is nothing else. Do you think this book is a book of devotion? It is the highest book of devotion. And the book of devotion is telling you something today. Your job in life is to get out of this world and not be born again. So it should be always the query. Inquiry should be about the absolute truth. What is absolute truth? Knowing the self. Nothing else should be the goal of one's work. Whatever work that you do in this world, it should be leading you towards this one truth alone. Verse 11. Learned transcendentalists know the absolute truth called the non-dual substance Brahma, Paramatma or Bhagwan. Only the sages can tell you what it is. The sages tell you that this non-dual truth, that is singularity, one only. The one is called God, Bhagwan, he is called Brahma, and he is called the Param Atma. Did you get it? All these words are one and the same. The great sages call this truth, the one thing that you are supposed to go towards, is called Brahma, the unmanifest divinity. He is also called Bhagwan. He is also called Paramatma. He is also called God Almighty. That is all that he is called. Don't run after anything else. Okay? Verse 12. The seriously inquisitive student or sage will equip with knowledge and detachment, realize that absolute truth by rendering devotional service in terms of what he has heard from the Vedanta Shruti. The only thing which you are supposed to do, if you are a very serious student, are you a serious student? You ask yourself. If you are a serious student, then you are going to pay 100% attention to what is going on over here. Unless and until you are blind, then your eyes will be closed. If your ears are over here like this listening to it and your eyes are somewhere else, you are not having single pointed devotion to it. Do you understand or no? Whenever I am talking to someone, I tell them, look at me in the eye and speak to me. But those who have something else to hide in their world, their eyes are going to be somewhere else and they will be talking to me as if they are talking to me. I have seen people driving their car and on the phone. Is it called single pointed devotion? No. When you are driving the car, do you remember every job in this material world? What is the first verse that we did? It has to be done with devotion to that, right or wrong? If you are listening to my satsang, why are your eyes somewhere else? Why are you not watching me? And why are you not listening to me? Are you deaf? Are you dumb? Are you blind? If you are deaf, dumb, blind, then you are allowed not to even look at me or hear me. It's understood. But if you are sitting for a satsang, single pointedness is a must. Otherwise, you are not a worthy person. The seriously inquisitive student or sage. Is there an exception made over here? Is an exception made that somebody is my student for 6 months or 1 year and somebody who has been with me for 15 and 16 years, is there a distinction made over here or both are in the same category? Do you understand this? There are no choices there. Seriously inquisitive. If you are interested in spirituality, well equipped with knowledge and detachment, you have to be completely detached. What does detachment mean? You should not be attached to your mother, father, this one, that one. There is something which you need to understand. Suppose you don't like somebody in your life, and if I take that person's name, should you be disturbed? Should you keep on raking up the past? Today morning I have posted a video. Please go and see how people love to waste their time and life in this world. They get lost in the material world. They keep on thinking about the past. They are always lost in their own mind. No, don't waste your time. This time is extremely crucial and important. You have to understand, those who are seriously inquisitive students, do you know what happens to them? I will give you an understanding of this. When I was in kindergarten, KG, I was a very, very devoted student. I knew first standard and second standard lessons. Okay. So the teacher, I would tell the teacher, I don't want to stay in your class because I know everything. As a 4-year-old, I was telling her that. You know what she would do? Her name was Castellino teacher. Castellino, Mrs. Castellino. What she did, no? She would carry me in her arms like this and teach the whole class. The answer was that she would carry me in her arms and teach the whole class. She was very devoted and very nice lady. So in the first year of your life with me, I will carry you in my arms and I will teach you. But when you are 10 years, 12 years, 13 years, 14 years, 15 years or 16 years with me, you have to go out in the open over there and study. Does the teacher take a 16-year or a 15-year student in the, say, 9th standard or 10th standard in the arms and roam around? No, it is your duty to go out and do your sadhana. Sadhana is what? You have to go out and do your meditation. Was Shivaji given this advice or no? When Shivaji Maharaj was given this advice very clearly, go to the jungle and do your meditation and do your thinking process because you are ready for it. Go. So the person has to go, not hang around. That is why I sent many of my disciples out. I tell them, now you go. You are not needed over here. Because your job, if you are there with me for a few years, and then I tell you, please go out, it really means that your job is to think about things. And that means you have to be detached. Okay, you should not be holding on to the pallu of the teacher. In your 9th standard and 10th standard, were you holding on to the pallu of your teacher? No. So you should not be. Then you should have detachment. Detachment means what? Even if I take the name of your father and mother, you should not be upset about it. If I say you are here only for the money, why are you upset? You should not be. Because that is your test to see whether you are having detachment or no. Attachment means what? Immediately you latch on to that thing and you say, oh, your father did this, your mother did this, my mother did that. This one. That means you have failed in your spiritual world, isn't it? So if you keep on holding on to something in your life, it could be anything. It could be a past boyfriend also. If I just say, if I meet some woman and I say, you know, your boyfriend is like this, but he is an ex-boyfriend, and that woman feels upset about it. Do you understand? If you feel upset about something which is gone in the past, does it mean that you are still holding on to it or no? Yes, and that is called attachment. Don't hold on to things. You are not even supposed to be bothered about it. Single-pointed devotion to the cause, that is all that you are supposed to do. Even work should be done for single-pointed devotion. So, you have to be well equipped with knowledge and detachment. We'll realize the absolute truth by rendering devotional service in terms of what has been heard from the Vedanta Shruti. So are you hearing the Vedanta Shruti just now? You are hearing the scriptures. When you do devotional service to your Guru and God, then only you will get it. But if your devotional service has a fault in it, today morning I was explaining, somebody asked me a question. Why do the gods get angry if we have promised them something and we don't give them? Well, spirituality is not about some god outside. Outside is a play. Outside is a leela happening. The whole story is happening within you. when the whole story is happening within you. Suppose you have a heart and the heart has a hole in it. Are you supposed to see to it that you go to the doctor and get the hole cleared off, stitched or whatever that is necessary? Yes or no? When you have an upset stomach, are you supposed to eat only light food? Yes. But if you eat biryani and all this nonsensical stuff, what happens to you? You're going to get upset, isn't it? Think, God is like that stomach of yours. Some God somewhere that you have said, I am going to give you this and I am going to give you that. And you default in that. Like your stomach, you default in giving him food in time. What happens to your stomach? It gets upset and angry, isn't it? So the God is also like that stomach of yours. If you have promised him something and if you have not given him, he is going to get very angry. You know the reason why I tell people don't give me false promises. I represent the entire Brahma for you. Don't you understand that? If you are promising me, I am going to do this for you and then you don't do it, what happens to you? You are defaulting in it. Don't you think that is going to make me angry, sort of? Are you going to be in debt with me or no? So please understand this. That is the reason why never open your mouth and promise me anything. And that is the reason why I tell you, okay, just go to the temple, visit it, do your little namaskara and get out of that place. Don't ask for anything. Because if you ask for it, it's going to be very dangerous. And that is why rendering devotional service is extremely important. Devotional service without focus on results. I think my entire 25 minutes I have explained this to you. Don't think of anything. You see, when people stand in front of, Shiva or some other God, you know what they say, God, please give me a good job. I will come and give you 10% of this income to you. They come and they promise like this to Shiva or any other God. Oh, that means Shiva has to first give you a job, then you are going to give him 10%. It's a deal, isn't it? Are you asking for sense gratification? Then you are not going to get it. See, understand this one thing. Don't make deals with gods. Don't ever make deals with any gods. It's going to get very troublesome for you. So, rendering devotional service is the only thing that you should do. O best among the twice born, it is therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging the duties prescribed by one's own occupation according to caste divisions and orders of life is to please the personality of Godhead. The only reason why you are supposed to be doing something, it is called work. You have to do work for God and not expect anything out of him. Do you understand this? Your job is only to do work for God. Yes or no? And the moment you have expectations, I want this, I want that, I want to travel, I want to go and do this, I want to give you sone ka kada, I want to put one golden mukutam for you. What is that you are talking? What are you trying to bribe God with? Don't ask anything. Don't. Your job is not to ask. His job is to give. When he wants to give, he is going to give you. Don't ask. Don't be a beggar. So, best amongst the twice born. Who is a twice born? In this world, a twice born is basically a Brahman who has gone to a guru. And the guru has done whatever that is necessary so that now his parent is the guru only, not his father, mother. So you are completely surrendered to the guru. You are supposed to be taking training from him. Whatever that you are doing, like in the Gurukul system earlier, here also it's the same thing. You have to get training from him. That is what. So you are twice born, then it is concluded. Concluded means what? It's a final word. The highest perfection can be achieved by discharging the duties prescribed of one's own occupation. What is one's own occupation? Let us say your occupation is, see the last line, is to please the personality of Godhead. See, got the answer? If your occupation is only to please Shri Krishna, why are you going and asking him, can you give me a job? Can you give me money? Can you give me this? Can you give me that? Are you supposed to ask? Or your job is only the duty has to be performed and not open your mouth? You are sitting in a devotional class. If you are sitting in an MBA from Harvard or some other Stanford, then you are only supposed to be thinking of money, 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 money. Are you sitting in an MBA class over here? Are you sitting in some other economic this thing from somewhere? No. You are sitting in a devotional class. Srimad Bhagavatam is a devotional text. Are you supposed to be asking for money, job and happiness and goodness and wife and children and all that? I think you are in the wrong place then. So your job is only to serve Krishna. One's occupation according to caste division and order of life is to please the personality of Godhead. What is personality of Godhead? Shri Krishna. Okay? And if you are in a place, he's saying things very clearly. You can only attain the highest perfection by discharging the duties. Do you think Arjuna should ask Krishna, I want to win the war, that is why I am fighting it. I will give you 10% of my earnings after that. Is he talking like this in the Bhagavad Gita? Huh? Or is he saying, Krishna, if we win this war, you know what? I will give you a golden chariot with diamonds and this studded and that studded, and I will give you this and I will give you that. Does he talk like that to Krishna? Is Krishna anywhere saying that I want this or I want that? No. The entire scriptures are based on devotional service. Is that correct or wrong? In devotional service, can Arjuna say, I want to win this war, that is why I am fighting? That means he is bothered about end results, isn't it? If you are doing a job and you are thinking of your salary, are you bothered about your end results? Yes. Then you are going to be the sufferer. Then you are material worldly person. Then everything is karma for you. You can be a person. Remember the previous verse? You can be a disciple or even a sage. You may be doing spiritual service for 15 years or 20 years also. Doesn't matter. You are still going to suffer. Because only the highest perfection can be achieved by discharging the duties. Your job is only to do the duty and not bother about end results. Then, prescribed. What is the prescription given over here? The prescription is very clear. Your job is to only serve Krishna. Otherwise, you should not be in spiritual. Got it or no? So service unto Krishna is the only thing. Suppose you are working for some company. You are working for PwC, you are working for IBM, you are working for some company in this world. Okay? Intel, Amazon or something like that. And then you are saying, Guruji, I want to do service unto Krishna. Oh, working for IBM and Amazon is doing service to Krishna? If you are in this world and if you have crossed 40 years of age, you are already on the path towards Vanaprasthashram. Your job is to only think of service unto Krishna. That's it. Your job is not to look after job and this and that and all that. No, that is not the criteria. Please understand this very clearly. You should have given up your life. What are you sitting over here and, working and doing this and stressing even at the age of 55, 60, 70 and all that? Oh my God, what is going to happen? What is going to happen? What is going to happen? Live your life and become the devotee of Krishna. That is all he is saying. You are prescribed, it is prescribed. Prescribed means what? It is written in the scriptures. Is it written concluded? Concluded means what? It is an underlined thing. Underlined, prescribed, it is written in the scriptures. In the Vedas, it is written that you are only supposed to follow one occupation, and that is service unto Krishna. Then, if you are coming at the age of 50 and all and asking me, Guruji, I need a job, are you doing your service? No. Then you should not be in spiritual. You should be in the material world. So, according to the caste divisions, suppose you are a person who is a leader amongst men. The leader people are called the Kshatriyas. So their job is to lead people. So they can lead people towards Krishna. Is that correct or no? Suppose you are a person who is a worker, a simple person working in a company and only doing your job what you have been told to do. Then your job is what? Only to serve Krishna. Isn't it? So he says, according to the order of life. What is the order of life? There are 4 ashramas in this world, correct? First is Balashram, then it is Grahastha ashram. Third one, it is Vanaprastha ashram, and the fourth one is called Sannyasa ashram. So suppose you are 45 years old. Which ashram are you in? Vanaprastha ashram, and you need a job? You are not following the Vedic stances. You are not even bothered about your life. You are bothered about feeding your family. You are a worthless person. No, your duty is towards Krishna. That's it. Understand this. When all those junkies who were there in 60s and 70s, you see, when they joined Prabhupada, they are all grown people. You know, they were doing their duty. And because they were doing their duty, they will definitely get heaven. Does not matter what they are. But they were serving Krishna, isn't it? Here people come and ask me, Guruji, I need a job. I need this. I need that. That is something which person should not ask. So, you have to understand which division of life you are. Suppose you are 55, 60 or 65 years old. What are you asking me for happiness in my family? What? You should not ask. Your job is to be a sannyasi. Sannyas ashram. You are in which ashram? Give up your life. Wasn't that told to even Dhritarashtra? He was told, you are an old man, you have to give up on your life, go to the jungles and stay somewhere, become a sannyasi. That is what is important. You know, in 2001, when I was very clear with what had happened to me, I left in the year 2007. That was my Vanaprastha. I was going away. I didn't want to be in this world. But then I was told my job is to teach as a guru. So I came back. Until I am not given my freedom, I cannot go. I am under debt to my Guruji. I may have the worst students in my life also with me. But I still have to do the job of teaching them. I have to be the best version of myself. They can be the worst version of themselves. But am I faltering in my job? Am I telling you today I got a headache, I am not going to do satsang? I cannot say those words because that is my Gurudev has given me this instruction. Do the satsang. So I am going to do. It is called duty. Prescribed in one's own occupation. Discharging the duties. What is the duty? You owe it to Krishna. You cannot have headaches. You cannot have body aches. You cannot be dying. Yes, if you are dying and lying in the bed and you are in ICU, it's a different story. If you are prescribed a duty, your job is to do the duty. If you are in spiritual, your job is to perform the duty religiously. How many 4 verses we have done? In that, was it mentioned very clearly that everything has to be done diligently without focus on the end result. So, prescribed in one's occupation according to caste divisions, an order of life. Order of life. These are all things which you have to consider. Is to please the personality of Godhead. And that is all you are supposed to do and not bother about anything else. So we have come to the end of verse 13. We will stop over here.
Recording stopped.